Covert narcissists are more subtle and less overt in their manipulations than their grandiose counterparts, but their behaviors can be just as harmful. Covert narcissists tend to use passive-aggressive tactics, gaslighting, guilt-tripping, and other forms of emotional manipulation to gain control or elicit sympathy. There are certain strategies that you can use to outsmart a covert narcissist. You need to understand the covert narcissist's tactics. Covert narcissists operate behind the scenes, using underhanded methods to manipulate others. This can include feigning humility, presenting themselves as victims, or constantly seeking validation through indirect means. The first step in outsmarting a covert narcissist is recognizing these patterns. Learn to distinguish between genuine concern or empathy and attempts to control or elicit emotional reactions from you. Set clear boundaries to outsmart a covert narcissist. The covert narcissist will often test boundaries, either by overstepping them or by creating situations where you feel guilty for asserting yourself. To protect yourself, you must establish and enforce clear, firm boundaries. These boundaries should be communicated in a calm, confident manner, and you should be prepared to uphold them, even when the narcissist tries to guilt-trip or manipulate you into compromising. Don't engage in power struggles. Covert narcissists thrive on power dynamics and emotional manipulation. Engaging in a power struggle or trying to win with them only feeds into their need for control. Instead, aim to remain emotionally neutral and non-reactive. This can frustrate them as they depend on your emotional response to feel validated and in control. Covert narcissists are expert at evoking strong emotional reactions, often using passive-aggressive remarks or playing the victim. When confronted with their emotional manipulation, it's important to stay calm and detached. They will often attempt to provoke guilt or sympathy, but by maintaining your composure, you deny them the emotional fuel they need to continue their tactics. Covert narcissists, if you need to outsmart them, document interactions. They are skilled at gaslighting and rewriting history to suit their needs, so it can be helpful to document your interactions. Keeping a record of conversations or incidents can help you to stay grounded in reality when they try to distort or deny events. If you ever need to assert yourself or defend your actions, having clear documentation can be invaluable. Don't take their behavior personally. Covert narcissists often rely on creating an illusion of selflessness or victimhood to manipulate others. When they criticize, withdraw affection, or play games with your emotions, remember that it's not about you. It's about their need for validation and control. By recognizing their behavior as a reflection of their insecurities rather than a reflection of your worth, you can distance yourself emotionally from their attacks. Covert narcissists will often use personal information against you, either to manipulate you or to maintain control over you. Be mindful of how much you reveal about your feelings, vulnerabilities, or personal life. The less they know, the less ammunition they have to use against you in their attempts to undermine or control you. Don't get sucked into their drama. Covert narcissists are often masters of creating drama or chaos, particularly in social situations. They might play the victim to manipulate others' perceptions or try to shift attention away from their own behavior. Avoid getting caught up in their emotional roller coaster by remaining grounded and not participating in their drama. Alright? So recognize it for what it is and refuse to engage. If you want to outsmart a covert narcissist, use the gray rock method. It's an effective way to deal with a covert narcissist. It involves becoming as emotionally uninteresting and unresponsive as possible. Covert narcissists feed off emotional reactions. So by becoming emotionally dull and unreactive, you deprive them of the attention they crave. Keep conversations neutral and avoid sharing personal thoughts or feelings. Covert narcissists often use passive-aggressive behaviors, such as the silent treatment, guilt-tripping, or making snide comments disguised as jokes. Recognizing these manipulations is crucial in preventing them from undermining your confidence or making you doubt yourself. When you spot these behaviors, you can respond with clarity and avoid getting pulled into their emotional games. Covert narcissists seek validation, but often in subtle ways. They may fish for compliments or praise, especially when they feel insecure. By withholding unsolicited praise, you avoid feeding into their need for constant external validation. Instead, offer praise only when it's truly deserved and don't feel obligated to affirm them unnecessarily. The less emotionally invested you are in the relationship, the easier it will be to maintain control over your reactions. Covert narcissists often thrive on getting a rise out of others by eliciting strong emotional responses. If you keep your emotional distance, they will have fewer opportunities to manipulate you or trigger you into reactive behaviors. Gaslighting is a common tactic used by covert narcissists to make you doubt your own perceptions or reality. They may tell you that you are overreacting, remembering things wrong, or imagining things. So if you notice this pattern, trust your instincts and recognize that their goal is to confuse you and make you second guess yourself. Stand firm in your perceptions and seek external validation if needed. Use the power of silence. Silence can be a powerful tool when dealing with a covert narcissist. If they attempt to provoke you or manipulate you into responding emotionally, remain silent. This silence communicates that you are no longer engaging in their games and that you will not be manipulated into reacting. Covert narcissists hate being ignored, and your silence can serve as a powerful boundary. Avoid personalizing their complaints. Covert narcissists often complain or criticize in subtle ways, implying that you're not doing enough or that you failed them. These complaints are rarely about you specifically. They are more about their need for validation or control. By recognizing that their dissatisfaction is a reflection of their insecurities, you can avoid internalizing their criticisms and maintain your self-confidence. Don't fall for their victimhood. Covert narcissists often present themselves as victims, seeking sympathy or attention through exaggerated tales of hardship or mistreatment. This victim mentality is used to manipulate others into feeling sorry for them, often to gain favors or avoid accountability. Recognize when they are playing the victim and refuse to get caught up in the emotional manipulation. Use logic, not emotion. When engaging with a covert narcissist, use logic and reason rather than emotion. They will try to push your emotional buttons, but if you can stay rational and avoid becoming emotionally entangled, then you can prevent them from using emotional manipulation to control the situation. So stay grounded and stick to the facts. To outsmart a covert narcissist, create emotional distance. If the relationship is not something you need to maintain, like a relationship with a family member or co-worker, then consider creating emotional and physical distance. Covert narcissists will often try to draw you back in by creating feelings of guilt or sympathy, but keeping a safe distance allows you to protect yourself from further manipulation. Sometimes the best way to outsmart a covert narcissist is to simply walk away. If the relationship or situation is causing too much emotional turmoil and you've exhausted other strategies, it may be time to let go. By disengaging entirely, you eliminate the narcissist's ability to continue manipulating or controlling you. Trust your gut. Your intuition is a powerful tool when dealing with covert narcissists. If something feels off or manipulative, trust that feeling. Covert narcissists are skilled at masking their true intentions, but with practice, you'll become better at recognizing their tactics and protecting yourself from them. To outsmart a covert narcissist, seek support from trusted friends. Covert narcissists try to isolate their targets to make them more vulnerable to manipulation. Having a strong support network can help you stay grounded and provide an objective perspective when dealing with the narcissist's behavior. Friends or family who understand narcissism can offer guidance and reassurance. Practice self-care. Dealing with a covert narcissist can be emotionally draining. It is essential to practice self-care regularly to maintain your emotional health. This might include engaging in activities that bring you joy, setting aside time for relaxation, and seeking therapy or counseling if necessary. Taking care of yourself ensures you can stay strong in the face of manipulation. It takes time to develop the skills needed to outsmart a covert narcissist. Their behavior may not change overnight, and you may have to implement various strategies repeatedly. Be patient with yourself as you navigate this difficult dynamic, and give yourself credit for the progress you make. How to outsmart a covert narcissist, Part 2. Dealing with a covert narcissist can be one of the most challenging and frustrating experiences in any relationship, whether it's a personal relationship or professional one. Now, the covert narcissists tend to hide their sense of superiority behind a facade of modesty or self-deprecation, making them harder to spot and deal with effectively. So when you understand the covert narcissist behavior patterns, that is the first step in protecting yourself and outsmarting them. Now, how do you outsmart a covert narcissist? Part 2. This is part 2 of the topic, how to outsmart a covert narcissist. Now, to outsmart them, recognize the signs of covert narcissist. Covert narcissism is subtler than overt narcissism, and this tends to manifest as boastful, attention-seeking behavior. That is the overt narcissist. But for a covert narcissist, it is more introverted. They appear self-effacing. They appear humble. They are even overly empathetic. However, underneath this facade lies an inflated sense of entitlement, a need for validation, and a tendency to manipulate others for personal gain. When you're dealing with a covert narcissist, look for signs like passive-aggressive behavior, playing the victim, and a lack of genuine empathy for others. Set clear boundaries early on when dealing with a covert narcissist, because they thrive on bending others to their will through guilt-tripping or subtle manipulation. One of the most effective ways to outsmart them is by setting firm, clear boundaries from the start. Let them know what is acceptable and what is not, and be consistent in enforcing those boundaries. The more you let them push your limits, the more they will try to manipulate you into meeting their needs. Don't feed their ego. Covert narcissists, like all narcissists, have an insatiable need for validation. However, they may go about seeking attention in more indirect ways, such as fishing for compliments or dropping hints about their accomplishments. Recognize this behavior and resist the urge to feed their ego. If you give them constant praise or validation, you are only encouraging their manipulative tactics. To outsmart a covert narcissist, stay emotionally detached. One of the covert narcissist's main tactics is to provoke an emotional reaction from others in order to control the situation. They may use guilt, shame, or passive-aggressive remarks to elicit emotional responses from you. By staying emotionally detached, you can avoid falling into their trap. Practice emotional regulation and try not to react to their provocations. The more you remain calm and composed, the less power they have over you. Don't take it personally when dealing with a covert narcissist. A covert narcissist's behavior is rooted in their own deep-seated insecurities. When they belittle you, manipulate you, or try to control you, it's not a reflection of your worth. It is a reflection of their need to feel superior. By reminding yourself that their actions are about their own ego and not a personal attack on you, you can avoid internalizing their negativity. The other way to outsmart a covert narcissist is to mirror their behavior. This strategy of mirroring their behavior can work against that covert narcissist. This means reflecting their actions back to them in a non-confrontational way. If they make passive-aggressive comments, respond in a calm and emotional manner, but echo their words. This can disarm them because they often rely on subtle manipulation to get their way, and mirroring can make them uncomfortable. Just be careful not to get drawn into their drama. Covert narcissists will often use personal information against you to manipulate you later. By limiting what you share with them, you reduce their ability to use your vulnerabilities against you. Keep conversations focused on neutral topics, especially if you're just starting to build a relationship with them. The less they know about your weaknesses or insecurities, the less leverage they have. Gaslighting is a common manipulation tactic used by covert narcissists. They may try to make you question your reality, memories, or perception of events in order to undermine your confidence and keep you off balance. If you start to notice this behavior, trust your instincts. Document conversations or events if necessary, so that you have a record of what actually happened. This will help you retain clarity and stay grounded. Don't engage in their drama. Covert narcissists often try to draw others into their drama, whether it's through creating conflict or playing the victim. They may present themselves as the martyr in any situation, trying to evoke sympathy and support from those around them. Avoid getting involved in their emotional turmoil or drama. Instead, stay neutral and avoid engaging in any of the games they try to play. If they seek sympathy, refuse to feed into it. Covert narcissists often feel entitled to special treatment, whether it's in the form of admiration, favors, or recognition. Challenge their sense of entitlement by not giving in to unreasonable demands. If they expect special treatment, politely refuse or set limits on what you are willing to do. This will help them realize that you're not someone they can easily manipulate into giving them what they want. Don't react to provocations. Covert narcissists are skilled at testing your boundaries to see how much they can get away with. They may make snide remarks, criticize you in subtle ways, or play mind games to provoke a reaction. The key to outsmarting them is not to react. If they push your buttons, remain calm and composed. When they see that their tactics don't affect you, they may stop trying to manipulate you. Understand their need for control. At the core of covert narcissism is an overwhelming need for control. They want to feel like they are in charge, whether that means controlling the narrative, the emotions of those around them, or even situations at work or in social circles. Recognizing this need for control allows you to take proactive steps to prevent them from manipulating or dominating you. When possible, subtly undermine their control by asserting your own autonomy. Arguing directly with a covert narcissist about their narcissistic behavior is futile. They rarely acknowledge their faults or take responsibility for their actions. Instead of confronting them directly about their narcissism, focus on the specific behavior that is bothering you. For example, if they are gaslighting you, point out specific instances where they've misrepresented the facts or tried to distort reality. Avoid labeling them, as they will often dismiss this as a personal attack. Use their insecurities against them. Overt narcissists often hide deep insecurities behind a mask of arrogance. While it is never ideal to stoop to their level, understanding their insecurities can help you avoid falling victim to their manipulation. If you understand what they fear or value most, you can use this information strategically to protect yourself. For example, if you know that they crave external validation, you might choose to deny them the attention they seek. Communicate clearly and directly. Covert narcissists often rely on vague communication and misdirection to manipulate others. To counter this, make sure to communicate with them in a clear, direct, and assertive manner. Avoid ambiguity or leaving things open to interpretation. This removes any opportunities for them to twist your words or intentions, making it harder for them to manipulate the situation in their favor. Document important interactions. In some cases, covert narcissists may try to rewrite history or manipulate facts to suit their agenda. One way to protect yourself is by documenting important interactions, especially if you're working with a covert narcissist in a professional setting. Keep notes of meetings, agreements, and significant conversations. This gives you a record to refer back to if they try to distort the facts later. Don't get sucked into their victimhood. Covert narcissists often play the role of the victim in any situation, making others feel sorry for them and manipulating them to take their side. It is crucial not to get sucked into their victimhood narrative. While they may present themselves as misunderstood or oppressed, recognize that this is a tactic to gain sympathy and control. Avoid feeling guilty for not taking their side. Instead, stay objective and don't engage in their drama. Use their lack of empathy to your advantage. One of the hallmarks of covert narcissism is a lack of genuine empathy for others. They may pretend to be caring, but their empathy is shallow and self-serving. Recognize that their emotional expressions are often a means to an end. By understanding this, you can avoid being manipulated by their false displays of concern or kindness. If you need help or support, seek it elsewhere, because relying on a covert narcissist can be emotionally draining. Stay in control of your own emotions. Covert narcissists thrive on stirring up emotional reactions in others. So one of the most effective ways to outsmart them is to stay in control of your own emotions. Practice mindfulness and emotional regulation techniques to ensure that you don't react impulsively to their provocations. This takes practice, but the more you can stay calm, the less power they have over you. Maintain a healthy distance. In some cases, the best way to outsmart a covert narcissist is simply to maintain distance. If the relationship is toxic or draining, it may be necessary to cut ties or minimize contact. The less you engage with them, the less they can manipulate or control you. This is especially important if their behavior is negatively affecting your mental or emotional well-being. And also try to learn the art of silent treatment. Silent treatment can be a powerful tool when dealing with a covert narcissist. But when you withhold attention or communication, you deny the covert narcissist the validation they crave. This tactic can confuse and frustrate them, especially if they're used to having people cater to their needs. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you've learned a thing or two. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you've not done so. Thank you.